What's up, and welcome. I am Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer from South Africa. In this video, I am going to show you the dangers of learning coding from YouTube and how that can slow down your development career or even crush it at all. Later, I'm going to show you how this book that I'm writing can serve as a solution to that. Without wasting time, let's just jump straight into it. As YouTube coders, what affects us? What drives us? What controls us? To be honest, if you are in the YouTube game, you are being controlled by the algorithm. As a developer, a teacher, or an instructor, you always have to choose between feeding YouTube's algorithm and delivering content or quality education and content. To be honest, this is a difficult decision that we always have to choose. What do I mean by that? I am Matthew Msingati. I'm probably having less than 1,000 subscribers. If I can have 1,000 subscribers, that will mean I will be monetized and possibly I might make a living out of YouTube. Isn't that interesting? Yes, of course, because I want to be paid from what I do or from what I love. In order for me to get that, I need to feed the YouTube algorithm. Remember, my intentions and my goal as compared to the algorithm, they are not the same. Or I'm trying to say my goals and the YouTube algorithm goals, they are not the same. What is the difference then? Here is the difference, and it's killing your career, and also it's killing the quality of the quality of education that we bring as creators into the community. Number one, the algorithm promotes what the users or what the fans or the YouTube community wants. Let me make a practical example in the coding community. I am struggling to get a lot of views because I'm creating a content that is geared towards helping you get a job. On the other hand, the community, which is the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, has created some sort of a trend where if you are creating a -- clone, obviously people will like it and they will share, and that content is going to be promoted. As a result, all of us as YouTube developers, we are getting into -- clone, and in most cases it's a social media or part of the FANG, which is either it's Facebook or it's Amazon or it's Netflix or it's Google. A Google clone, an Amazon clone, a Facebook clone, an Instagram clone. I hope you get the idea. So how does that affect you as a student or somebody who wants to learn coding from YouTube? Here is the challenge. I have been following a lot of YouTube tutorials, and in the beginning I trusted those tutorials because of the numbers: 1 million followers, 1 million likes and subscribers, and so forth. But after that, I started to get employment. Okay, now I've started to notice that we don't teach React the same way in which we are going to use them in production. I am inspired by WhatsApp. As a developer, I will create a clone to teach other people how that WhatsApp has been designed. In essence, I'm not teaching them a clone, to be honest. I'm just teaching them a front end, which is only the user interface part. And I will integrate some few APIs and it will look like it's working. Let's get into the work environment. Let's start from a CV. When you get into the work environment, in fact, from an interview, when you get into the work environment, you will be interviewed. Here are some of the questions that you will be asked. Your folder structure. The employer knows which folder structure that works and for what condition. The YouTube clone, the WhatsApp clone is not going to teach you the best folder structure. Secondly, you are going to be asked about React concept. The YouTube clone and the WhatsApp clone and the Facebook clone is not going to tell you about the React concept. Things like high order component, things like virtual DOM. So as I'm getting into YouTube, I'm starting to be divided in terms of what I need to do. It's like there is the YouTube algorithm that I have to please, and there is a community of serious and honest individuals who want to improve their lives. Because of, well, I want to get money and get paid, I'm leaning towards feeding YouTube's algorithm. As a result, well, the likes are there, but deep down that is somewhat killing me, because I know I'm obsessed with creating clones and do what other developers are doing instead of doing what I love. How that can kill your career. This means if you are consuming coding content from YouTube, you are consuming only what is popular. Okay, as a solution to that, I sat home and I was like, how could I not necessarily solve the entire problem, because this problem is even bigger than me at the moment, because we are talking about YouTube and algorithm. YouTube, it's a big company, guys. So I was like, okay, I'm imagining and I'm envisioning, okay, a brand or some sort of an academy where I will teach React the way in which I'm going to use it, okay? Teach it like an engineer or architect rather than a designer. A WhatsApp clone can only show you the design features, colors, and all those things. Quick API links, and it works. Boom. 90,000 subscribers. But I'm imagining, okay, a school, a university, or a college, okay, or even if it's a series of videos where I teach React the same way in which you are going to use in the working environment. And I call that React Con, which stands for React Consciousness. By the way, guys, as I've promised that I am going to write a book. This is my first test or my first sample of that book. What I don't want to solve a problem that doesn't exist. That's why I'm presenting the book to you. I want you to go to my page and then download the book and then read it. And then from then, tell me what are the concepts that you are struggling with or what you think about the book. Okay, so where can you get the book? Okay, now let's check here. Somewhere here. Okay, this is a live link. You will find the description, or you will find the link in the description. Okay, once you get into this link, you can download the WhatsApp clone that we are busy with. If you don't know much about that, that's not much of a problem. You can just get here and watch this video. We are creating a WhatsApp clone, which is a mobile and a web version. Well, I don't call it a clone, because a clone is just the front end aspect. Since I'm all about teaching tools and techniques that will help you for work environment, I call it a WhatsApp replica. Okay, so you can just go here, even in this video, in the link in the description of this video. Let me just quickly show you. You will see it there. Okay, and then from then it will take you there. As you can see, here is the link. It will take you here. You can download the app that I will teach you how I did it, and then you can scan this QR code and then you can log in. If you are trying to click here without the QR code, it won't let you in. And then from then you will see this book of mine. So this is just a sample of the book. If you want it, check the link in the description below and let me know what you think. Now let me address the elephant in the room. How does this way of teaching, okay, let's say the algorithm conscious way of teaching, because as YouTubers we are afraid of the algorithm. We all want to be loved by the algorithm, because number one, it creates an impression of winning, like million subscribers and all those things. But it affects you as the student, because I don't teach you what you have to know or what I feel like it's right, but I teach you what is popular, which popular doesn't necessarily means right. If I can quote Jim Rohn, one of the motivational speakers, a guy that I've been consuming a lot of content from, in one of his videos he says people confused sincerity with the truth. Okay, and he continues to say a guy can be sincerely wrong. Okay, so, or off the track, sincerely off the track. Okay, so the similar kind of a thing, I'm seeing it, okay, in the industry. It might be popular, yes, a React clone or a WhatsApp clone is popular, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing. Okay, that doesn't mean this is what the industry needs. Now let's jump to the problem, and I will show you in details why I'm having problem with coding, not necessarily coding channel, but how as coders we teach React. Let's talk about use state. Okay, in most cases when we are explaining use state, this is what we do. Even if we are in the YouTube tutorial, we are teaching it, but we explain it this way. This is a description of a use state, right? As you can see, obviously it gives you an idea, a conceptual idea of what a use state is. Okay, it's a hook and this is what it does. Good. Now as YouTube coders, we take this description into the video content, let's say into the classroom to the students. When we are coding, we don't give the student an idea, okay, a mental picture, a mental model of what it is, but what we do, we just describe this in code, meaning that it's like if I can take this and copy it, go to a website or an AI tool that can take a text into a video. And then from then, obviously, the AI tool is intelligent, but not that intelligent. It will only explain and make an example of this. This is what we are doing as YouTube coders. But what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to describe it and explain it conceptually and do simple example to give you an idea. But remember, you won't use state in isolation. Okay, our own examples, they are too good to be true. It's like creating an experiment in a controlled environment, in a lab or in a vacuum. But in real life, there will always be air resistant, there will always be water, there will always be some condition that we haven't thought of beforehand. Okay, so when somebody is explaining use state to you, they will use cats and dogs. Okay, we've got a cat and then the cat changes the state. It was on this position to that position. Or the counter example. Okay, we've got a button count. So when I click here and then this count changes the state. Now let me give you a practical way in which you are going to use state in the real environment, which I believe is the best way of explaining. Okay, point number one, use state doesn't exist in a vacuum. Okay, it goes hand in hand with other hooks. Let me just check here, for example, on use effect. Okay, where use effect is being used in conjunction with use state to fetch data. Okay, in data fetching. Okay, as you can see, this is use effect. Okay, so this is use state. As you can see, there is a variable data to save the data after it has been fetched, and we will use this function set data. We are using use effect, but as we are fetching data, okay, when we get that data, we will then take the response and put it using this function set data of what? Of use state, so that now the state of this data will change. Okay, as you can see, guys, this is use state being used in conjunction with what? With use effect. Well, let's go to what we do as YouTube coders. We always make an example of a counter and a use state. It's like there is a button, you click here, this button will use a set data, and then the display of whatever will change, and that is it, guys. As for me, I'm not sure about you, you can shoot a comment below and tell me what you think. As for me, that is a problem. That environment is too perfect, it's too good to be true. When you get into the work environment, it's not going to work. Okay, so that was my point number one on use state, that you are not going to use it in isolation. Okay, now point number two, maybe that example, it's been used on JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript, pure JavaScript, it's not that strict, it's not a well typed language. Now when you get into the work environment, you are going to be told we have to use TypeScript. Okay, remember, use state on its own, it's a bit challenging. Somebody was trying to explain it to you in the perfect environment, But now you are being told that use the use state and technique, yes, but use them with TypeScript. Okay, so meaning that now not only you've got a problem with the use state, but now you've got another problem with which the YouTube coding guy, or when they were doing the clone, they didn't explain, okay, or they didn't give you an in-depth understanding of it, which is how do you type use state. Okay, how do you give a type in it? Let's say you are taking this set state, you have to pass it in a component, meaning that the component which is the child component will use this set state, which is this set state function, to change this data. But then how would you type it? Okay, fine. Let's say since you are just changing a string, let's say this set data, it's this data is going to be a string, meaning that you are just going to put a string in here, and that is it, it's a string. But what if, just like in data fetching, okay, the function, this function that will change the state, is going to be an object? How do you type that? Okay, those are the tips and tricks and techniques which the clones, they don't address. Unfortunately, when you get into the work environment, these are the things that the employers are looking for. Let's push this further. This is a sample. Okay, I'm about to do a video explaining use state in detail. Okay, when we are explaining use state, okay, we don't put performance, okay, in the picture. Okay, for instance, let me just show you a problem that we are having here. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, I want to show you something. Okay, this is how we do things as coding channels. Okay, we just show you this, and then we say when this changes, okay, the state of this changes. Is it working? Yes. Is this user interface nice? Yes. Is it pretty? Yes. Is it colorful? Yes. But that's not the requirement for you to get employment. The requirement for you to get employment, we want an in-depth knowledge and understanding of React and programming in general. Okay, we want to know how do you solve problem, how do you use design patterns to solve problem. Is your application high on performance? Okay, those are the things that the employers are looking for. So when this use state is being explained, we don't take performance into consideration. So let's just quickly check what is going on here. What I want to know here, based on what we see, because it doesn't explain a lot of things, we might feel like, since React re-renders components, we might feel like this is the only component that is being rendered, which is the input, because it's the one that we are dealing with, or maybe with this one. So these are only the two components that are being re-rendered. Okay, let's check that practically, okay, as the way the React developers or the React pioneers could see it, because we are going to use a dev tool, okay, React dev tool, which is this one, to check what re-renders in the application that we have created. Okay, so we are going to do that through this profiler. Okay, what we want here, we want to, okay, as you can see guys, highlight, okay, highlight updates when component re-renders. We want to know which components that are being re-rendered here. Okay, go back. In case you don't see, okay, in case you don't see, I will show you. Okay, look at the edges. Okay, look at the edges of this parent container, not here. Look at the edges of this parent container. Okay, look at the edges of this parent container as I am typing. As you can see, it's being re-rendered again, re-rendered again. Let me just go to a website that you might be familiar with, Amazon. Okay, I just want to be practical. Okay, to Amazon. As you can see guys, we've got this here. Okay, what will happen? Tell me what will happen if when I'm pressing this, behind the scene the whole website re-renders? A disaster guys. As you can see, it's going to be a disaster. What do I mean by that? Meaning that all these components need to re-render. Why is that going to happen? Because Matthew has taught a student or somebody from YouTube that this is how the use state works. Okay, I have taught it in isolation. To me, as Matthew, this is a problem because I'm teaching use state in isolation in a controlled and a perfect environment which doesn't exist in real life. As a result, as a student, I'm being fired from work because my applications are not performant. Okay, not only they are not performant, guys, rendering the whole page when you are typing, as you can see, guys, there are some data that is being fetched from the API and all those things. It becomes a problem. Okay, so let's just quickly check here if maybe this has been built with React. Okay, it looks like the React dev tool is not here. Okay, I would like to assume this means that this is not being created by React, but however, guys, that's what I was trying to show you. Let me just quickly check Netflix. Let me just quickly check Netflix. Okay, let's see. Okay, as you can see, guys, we've got the profiler here. Okay, as you can see, we've got the profiler. Okay, so what we are going to do, we're going to click the profiler. Let's check so that the profiler can show us which pages are being re-rendered. Okay, as you can see, guys, this is here. Let's see when we are typing here what will be re-rendered. Okay, let's just check. As you can see, guys, here on the edges there is nothing that shows a re-render. As you can see, nothing. Okay, let me just check. Okay, as you can see, guys, here are the components that are being re-rendered. Okay, they are marked with the square boxes. As you can see, this section has been re-rendered. Check there. You see, not everything, but only this section. This means that this has been created as a standalone component. Okay, use state is being used here. Okay, but as you can see, this only re-renders, not everything. Let's check our own code from the internet. As you can see, everything render. In fact, the parent container, which is the entire page, re-renders. Let's just push this further. Okay, I hope I can log in on my Netflix without putting a password. Let's see, let's refresh. Okay, now we are checking performance issue. Okay, our address, this is not what I want. How could I log in on Netflix? It looks like I don't usually use Netflix. I'm not a movie guy. Okay, let me just say Netflix login. Netflix.com, suppose it works. Or sign in. Okay, sorry guys about that. I'm not a big fan of what's Netflix. Okay, I only subscribed for my nephews. As you can see, this is me, but these are other people. Okay, these are my relative. I'm not a big fan. Okay, let me, okay, sign in as me. Let's test, guys. Okay, let's test Netflix performance. Okay, let's test Netflix performance. Looks like my computer is slow. Okay, look. Okay, let's check, guys. Make sure that this has been shown. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's say I click here. Okay, as you can see, this is telling us that when we are highlighting here, some components are being re-rendered. As you can see, this is clear and straight to the point, guys. It's only this part. Okay, it's only this part that is being re-rendered. As you can see, not everything. Okay, at some point there are some other components that are being re-rendered. That's not much of a problem, because Netflix front-end engineers, at least they know what they are doing. If some of these components are re-rendering, like the whole frame, it's within their control. They are conscious of it. As you can see that it doesn't just render from the beginning. As you can see, Okay, it's only that section, it's only this section. But as time goes by, if this pops up, okay, also these blocks they do re-render. I am Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer from South Africa. I am on my way to becoming good and the best on explaining React in the most simple and easy to understand way, okay, in such a way that React can be your second nature. Guys, this is where I'm heading. ReactCon is the way to go. React consciousness. I am working hard behind the scenes such that I can make React my second nature. Okay, so I'm trying different tools and techniques to explain React. Also, I'm even applying the Feynman technique. Okay, if you don't know Feynman, it's one of the famous scientists. He was very good in explaining complex topic and make them simple. I'm Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's code badly with pride, because it all starts there. See you on the next one.